A woman who left her six-figure income to make backpacks for underserved children, a female professional wrestling referee making an impact telling stories, and a young woman who used her feet to advocate for those that had no voice are just few of the inspiring people that you're going to meet this week on the 7 Coolest People on the Planet. Hi, my name's Roger, and in every episode I scour the internet to find seemingly ordinary people doing incredible things in their communities to hopefully inspire you to do the same. So this week's no different, so let's get started with the list of the 7 coolest people on the planet. Number 7, Pete Dupre. Pete's a 96-year-old World War II veteran that loves to play his harmonica. And more than loving to play his harmonica, he loves to play the national anthem on his harmonica. And recently he played at a U.S. women's national soccer team match where he got a standing ovation and a lot of praise from the players. Pete, whatever it takes, keep doing what you're doing. Number 6, Kacey Kelly. Kacey was in the fashion industry and moved her way up to having a 6-figure income. When she was looking around and seeing in the marketplace that there were no backpacks, back-to-school backpacks, that represented underserved population students. So she created her own company called Blended Designs that focuses on images of students of color, which can help them be confident and more secure about going to school and enjoying their education. Kacey, you gave up a lot, but I'm sure you're going to get back a whole lot more. Number 5, Mohan Sudabuttela. When Mohan was 10, his mom and dad took him back to India where they were from to visit their ancestral village. And while there, his mom took him to an orphanage to see what children in India lived like. What he saw were kids that had amputated legs, that were bedridden, that didn't have quite the quality of life that he did in the United States. At the age of 20, that stuck in his head, and while in college getting his medical degree, he was working for a company that made prosthetic limbs, and when the kids outgrew the limbs, they had to throw them away. And this just bugged Mohan so much because he thought it was waste remembering the kids back in India that could use them. So at the age of 20, he started a nonprofit that collects used medical mobility devices such as wheelchairs, walkers, crutches, all those kind of things. He collects them from people's garages and basements and all over the place where they're not being used, and puts them to use by sending them back to India and to tribal nations here in the United States. Mohan's a great example of what you can do when you just see a need and you fulfill it. Number 4, Irene Hodges. Irene is a 70-year-old retired woman who over the last 10 years has spent $25,000 of her own money feeding swans. The swans were displaced from a local pond after a dam was built and their food source was lost. It's cool that Irene shows that nature is worth saving. Number 3, Aubrey Edwards. Aubrey's a professional wrestling referee, which there have been women and there are women that are referees. But Aubrey just got signed to work with a brand new wrestling promotion called All Elite Wrestling, AEW. And she's working there because they can see in her an amazing gift of being able to be a part of the storytelling in professional wrestling. Aubrey just doesn't count 1, 2, 3 to when a wrestler gets pinned. Aubrey is a part of the story, and I got to see her live at a local independent show a couple months ago, and she does a great job. And I am just so excited that Aubrey gets to be a part of the storytelling process in AEW. Keep up the great work, Aubrey. Number 2, Howie Dittman. When the participants in the Pittsburgh Pride Parade this past year turned the corner and saw a man that had a t-shirt on that said, "Free Dad Hugs," the response was overwhelming. Scott Dittman was wearing that shirt and during the parade hugged over 700 participants in the parade. says he did it because he realizes that some people don't have the love of their father, especially in the LGBTQ community, where they get rejected from their family members. And he just wanted to be a compassionate source for them during the parade to tell them that they're loved and cared for. Scott, I just want you to know that your little gesture of compassion and love has inspired me that I'm going to do the same thing you did next year at the Pride Festival. I'm going to give free hugs away to people that need them from a dad. Number 1, Rosalie Fish. Rosalie's a member of the Cowlick tribe and a recent graduate of Muckleshoot Tribal High School. And she's been an athlete all her life. Rosalie wanted to bring attention to MMIW, which is Murdered or Missing Indigenous Women, which is a real problem on a lot of reservations around the country, where some places it's almost 10 times more likely that a woman will be murdered than the national average. So Rosalie took her hand and put a red handprint on her face to cover her mouth, and then wrote MMIW on her right leg and ran all her races over 3 days with that paint on her to bring attention to 5 women that had been either murdered or missing who were Indigenous women. I think it takes a lot for a teenager to be self-aware enough and have the self-confidence to be able to do something like that. Rosalie didn't tell people she was going to do it. She didn't make a big fuss about it. She just did it and brought attention to a needed cause that was close to her heart and that should be prominent in our news media that isn't. Rosalie, I am just so proud of you, and I want you to keep doing whatever it is you want to do to bring attention to whatever cause it is and inspire other high school students to do the same. And for that, you are this week's number 1 coolest person on the planet. So what do you think of this week's list? Did I miss anybody? Do you know somebody that should be on this list? If you do, leave their information in the comment section below and I'll check them out, and hopefully they'll make an episode in the future. So just remember that kindness, hope, love, they're all just choices. So let's go out in the world and make some. I'm Roger with The Lonely Commuter, and this has been the 7 Coolest People on the Planet.